TG Geeks, episode 74, May 23rd, 2016. Where did the notion that there was life on Mars come from? Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the Two Gay Geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery. Sci-fi, comics, film, horror, genre, you name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane and we're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely Phoenix, Arizona.
And I'm Ben Raggington, also coming to you from, I really wish there were two of me instead of just one sometimes, Phoenix, Arizona.
And we're going to have a little chat here and just an interesting show for you today. So hang on, here we go. Well, that was our little sound for a gamma burst or gamma ray burst.
Gamma ray burst, which is on the very short end of the spectrum.
Yeah, and that's kind of what happened to the interview that we were going to have.
Yeah,
today.
A technical glitch.
A little technical glitch.
All is hopefully not lost. There might be another copy of it sitting out there someplace. We have to kind of go hunting for it. So it may still be recoverable by other means. So just kind of sit tight on that.
And you're wondering, what the heck are we talking about? Well, we went up to Flagstaff, Arizona yesterday, which was Saturday the 21st of May.
Yes.
And we got to go to Lowell Observatory, and we actually spoke with Kevin Schindler, who is the historian there. He's worked there for a little over 20 years, and he has written a couple of books, and he graciously sat down with us and Chuck and Kreg from Technoramama and gave us about a little
close to an hour and a half.
Hour and 39 minutes, actually, interview.
Wow.
Of which there was a little technical glitch on the recording of that. So we were going to play a snippet of it and then get the rest of that edited down into some semblance of listenableness. And but that didn't happen. But we had a great time. It was fascinating. And my little intro, my little stinger, talking about where did the notion that life on Mars come from? Well, that was from Percival Lowell, who founded the Lowell Observatory in 1896.
Yes, apparently he had been examining Mars, and there had been some... I kind of want to say that he was not really the first one to think that there might have been canals, but he's the one who really made it popular. He was able to get some of the geographical... There were some geographical landmarks that he did get right. Very, very general. But as far as the canals go, and if you grew up in the 60s
and civilization, exactly.
If you grew up in the 60s like we did, then you're familiar with the whole idea that Mars had canals, which is an indication that there was an advanced civilization. Well, turns out he was seeing his eyelashes through the eyepiece.
Or something to that effect. Anyway.
One of the people said that last night. Yeah. It was his eyelashes.
But other than that, I mean, Lowell Observatory has been on the forefront of a ton of research, not only the research into Mars. In fact, one of the interesting things that we learned, the Clark telescope, which is the telescope that Lowell used for mapping Mars and looking at Mars and, just researching Mars in general, was actually used to map the moon before the first moon landing.
Okay, wow. That is historical of the biggest nature.
Exactly.
And huge.
So we got to see the Clark telescope. We actually also, what else is the Lowell Observatory known for?
Well, probably the big thing is that, that's where, okay, I have to be careful here because the Lowell Observatory is known for several things.
Well, the
big thing is that's where Clyde Tombaugh actually was able to discover Pluto.
Yes, exactly. And that that was actually from some plates that Percival Lowell had actually taken with the big telescope that they have up there for doing photographic plates, and he happened to be looking at those plates and discovered that, and then did some more observation. And oh my God!
Yeah, he had 2 plates of the same star field that were about a week, maybe a week to 10 days apart, something like that. And he just did a comparison. He was just flipping back and forth and noticed that one of the objects moved when everything else did not.
And then, of course, there was more research that was done, but then it was discovered that Pluto, of course, at that time, this was 1916, and they announced it on March 13th, 1916, which was actually the 75th birthday of Percival Lowell.
Right.
And, but they had to do more research because they couldn't tell how big it was and all this kind of stuff, because of the technology at the time. But since then, Pluto's been demoted to a dwarf planet.
Poor little planet.
Poor thing. Anyway, but we had a great time. Learned a lot of things. They're still doing a lot of research, not necessarily with the Clark telescope, because the Clark was a refractor, and the Pluto discovering telescope was a reflector, but it was a plate. It was not something that you could actually directly see through.
It was a photographic, it was designed to photograph the night sky as opposed to actually looking through it like some home telescopes would do.
Yeah, and they've also can't really do much with Clark and that telescope anymore. They still do a little bit, but because of the light pollution, they actually moved like 15 miles south of Flagstaff out by Lake Mary. And they have a huge interferometer, which is, what they have, 8 or 10
something like that.
telescopes?
It's like the optical equivalent to the VLA in New Mexico.
Yeah, and it was real, and as well as they had, it was what I didn't want to say that. Was it 4 meters? The Discovery telescope.
Yeah.
That they have? Oh, I can't remember how big that was now. Anyway. But it's the 5th largest telescope, 5th largest reflector telescope in the U.S.
The continental U.S.
Continental U.S. Out in just east of Flagstaff, southeast of Flagstaff. That is what did they call it? The Discovery Channel telescope.
Yes, that's correct.
Because the Discovery Channel gave a ton of money for that big reflector telescope, and it's a huge mirror, and they're doing lots of research with that right now. So just tons of things. They have, what did they say, 12 right now?
Something
PhDs
like that. They have
on staff.
They have a ton of things going on there. One of the things that really impressed me, of course, as we were driving up, we were both thinking, we have no idea what to expect. I figured with the advancement of radio telescopes, with Hubble, and there's another space telescope up there. I don't remember the name of it anymore. Observatories that are just all over the world. There's some in Hawaii. There's one like at the top of the Andes. With all of that, I really didn't think that Lowell Observatory had anything left to offer except possibly be like a teaching observatory, a place for just education only, but not for pure research anymore. And I was delighted to find out that I was wrong, that it is still a working facility.
Yeah, it's
fantastic.
Really, it was just fantastic.
And
we got there. Go ahead.
I was going to say, well, the whole thing is an open book too, because one of the things that Kevin said, they've adopted what Percival Lowell wanted to do, is he wanted to make the information available to everybody.
Yeah, and research just for the sake of research is not any good. Research that you share with somebody is what he was all about.
And that's what they do. Whenever they make a new discovery of any kind, they are more than willing and excited to share that with the general public. And I find that so terribly exciting. And you see that spirit of scientific exploration and scientific discovery. It just permeates throughout the entire campus and through everybody who works there.
Exactly. They have some really neat people that work there that are educators, and even the front desk staff, the help desk staff, everybody that works there is just excited about astronomy and excited about Lowell. So it was really great. We got there about 9:30. We were supposed to meet Kevin at 10:30. 10:30, and they open at 10 and they close at 10, and we left at right around 9:30. It was an all-day affair. We got to do the interview with Kevin. There was a sun gazing thing. They put a big filter on a telescope and pointed it at the sun, and then they did several tours about planets and the outer, the universe, really, as well as lots of different lecture times, science things, and it was just
nighttime telescope viewing.
Nighttime telescope viewing. Yes, we got to see.
We saw Saturn. I got to see. You got to see Jupiter.
Yeah. Well, you did too.
Well, not in this time, no, because I was already inside the lecture hall for another lecture. You had gone out, and you caught the Jupiter with the 4 moons. I missed that. I got to see Saturn, and I got to see a really good close-up of the face of the moon.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get to see the moon, but I did see Saturn and Jupiter. It was really fascinating.
It was amazing.
It was truly amazing.
It was one of the greatest experiences. We might even have yet another interview that came out of talking to everybody who was there. Oh, wow.
You never know. You never know.
But it was amazing, and with any luck, we might be able to get you that interview. We have to check with Chuck, because he was recording it at the same time we were. Hopefully his recording came out better than ours. And if it did, then I know he'll be more than happy to share it with us, and we will then share that with all of you.
And it is definitely worth going to Flagstaff.
Yes.
To the Lowell. It is $12 all day long.
Do it. It's an all-day event. It's fantastic.
Wow. It is just incredible. And do all of the stuff. Do every lecture that they have. So it really is fascinating.
Absolutely. I mean,
I'm so worth it.
I'm so glad that we did it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Hi, this is Rusty Manuel, director of PJ, The Legends of Nathaya and Occupants, and you're listening to the Two Gay Geeks podcast.
And here are a few selected birthdays for May 23rd through May 30th. 2016. May 23rd, Joan Collins.
I'm wondering if someone's giving her as a birthday gift some really elegant shoulder pads for her dresses.
Who knows, but she's in her 80s now.
And she still looks amazing.
Yeah.
I think she's into witchcraft or something, because she looks great.
Yes. Also on May 23rd, Rosemary Clooney. And Robert Moog.
Oh, wow. The Moog synthesizer.
Yes, and Douglas Fairbanks. Douglas Fairbanks Sr.,
not Junior.
1883. So he was the patriarch of the Fairbanks clan. May 24th, John C. Riley, Alfred Molina, Jim Broadbent, Frank Oz, and Queen Victoria in 1819.
We are not pleased.
We are not pleased. May 25th, Ian McKellen. And Leslie Uggams, we just saw her
in Deadpool, and she stole the movie.
She did. Every scene she was in, anyway. And also on May 25th, Beverly Sills.
Bubbles,
famed opera singer, yes. And I just heard the Lucia de Lammermoor this week.
That's right.
On Met Opera with Beverly Sills. It was pretty good.
I would love to hear her do that mad scene.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good. She didn't hold the last note. This was 77, so she was on the
different interpretation. She was probably on the decline by then.
Yeah, in the later years of her actual singing career. May 26th, Sally Ride.
Sally Ride.
The first female astronaut on the first female astronaut, and she was on the Challenger.
Sadly, yes.
Yep. May 26th, also Peggy Lee, Peter Cushing, Robert Morley, and Stevie Nicks.
Robert Morley. Wow, that's a name I have not seen in a long time.
I know. I saw it there, and I thought, okay, we have to. Just because. May 27th, Chris Colfer, Christopher Lee.
Hold on a minute.
What?
Okay, this is for so let's say who's next.
Christopher Lee. And Vincent Price.
Okay, now this is what really throws me. You go to May 26th, you got Peter Cushing.
I know.
And then Christopher Lee, Peter and Christopher were the best of friends.
Yep.
Through their entire lives.
Yeah, and if you look at this, Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, and Vincent Price.
Wow, that is a trifecta.
A trifecta of horror as well as other genre films.
I know, but really, horror is, I think, what they are best known for.
Yeah.
I mean, that's their legacy, and that's just amazing.
It is. It truly is. May 26th and 27th. Also on May 27th, Paul Bettany and Jana Halford.
Hey, Jana.
A friend of ours from one of our very first interviews we did.
Yeah, one of our earliest.
Yes,
with
her husband Neil. Yeah. May 28th, Ian Fleming and Patricia Chica, our favorite PR person.
We love you, Patricia.
Yay, we love you, Patricia. May 29th, Danny Elfman and Patrick Henry. And that should do it for the birthdays this time.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
It's a party and you're invited. I'm Tim Calloway, your host and keeper of the Mouse Castle Lounge, your weekly dose of news, commentary, and interviews from the world of Disney, served up with your favorite tasty beverage. Drop by and see us at themousecastle.com or just look for the Mouse Castle on Facebook. It's good times and great conversations about the house that Mickey built. By the way, did you know that Walt Disney's favorite drink was a Scotch Mist? I'm more of a martini man myself. We'll see you soon at the Mouse Castle Lounge.
Go give a listen to our friends Tim and Anthony over at the Mouse Castle Lounge. We'll have a link on the website. And now, what time is it? I think it's time for a little listener feedback.
Yes, and some of this is actually quite surprising because this did not end up in my email bucket. This ended up in Keith's, and I only found out about it a little while ago. There was one that ended up in mine. But anyway, this is all regarding last week's episode number 73. Everything is here regarding episode 73. So, starting off with Russ Emanuel. You just heard his bumper a little bit earlier, and we'll be, I think we'll be talking to him sometime in the very near future.
A couple more times, actually.
Yes. Anyway, he simply writes, thanks for the shout out to the TG Geeks, me and Keith, for mentioning occupants at Phoenix Comic-Con during their last broadcast, and we should clarify what that means.
That, well, we have a little thing in our follow-up section, or actually in the second segment that we'll talk about that.
Okay, we can do it then.
Yeah.
Then we got a message from Arkle. We love you, Brian. He writes, I hope we get an Agent Carter mini on Netflix, if for no other reason than to resolve that damn cliffhanger that season 2 ended on. And if nobody remembers what we're talking about, in that episode 73, we discussed how there's a movement to get Agent Carter over to Netflix, and there was
please.
There was an update. That petition has now garnered over 100,000 signatures.
Wow, cool.
Now, I have one question though. If apparently the petition response is ginormous, and if that's the case, where were the viewers?
I don't know. I question how they number the viewers anyway.
Possibly.
So.
But in any case, obviously there is still a fan audience. I mean, there's a big fan base for this TV series. So yeah, I'm right with you, Brian. I would love to see them resolve that cliffhanger. And then Claire O'Leary, she responded to Brian by simply asking, hasn't Haley Atwell already signed on to another show? If we do get a season 3, it might take a while, unfortunately. Now, before I address that, you, Keith, you had something to say to that. You responded to her.
Well, I just wrote back that said, yes, she has another show, but it might take a little time to shift it to new Agent Carter to Netflix and find a spot, since Marvel is pretty booked up at this point with new shows that they're going to spin out on Netflix. So they might make it work with the way they shoot those shows, even if they do a mini, or even if they do a full run on Netflix. They're only doing 12 or 13 episodes.
It's about 13 episodes in each of the series.
Even if they did a mini, say 6 episodes,
which is what ABC does,
they could run that in in between, or a mid-season break, or wherever.
Yeah.
With what the show that she's shooting right now.
Exactly, and the
because they
thing
shoot
is,
those shows like boom, 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 boom.
they do. And the issue regarding that is, yes, Haley Atwell has been signed to the new series Conviction. Now, Haley has said on multiple occasions that if ABC gave Agent Carter the green light, that she would happily, if the schedule could be worked out, of course she'd come back and do it. I think she really likes playing the part. That's why she keeps coming back in the movie. Why she kept coming back in the movies. And I think, I think she'd be happy to do it again. Now, and this is where possibly moving it to Netflix also serves as a really good plus to that, because they may not be so beholden to a time frame in terms of when they can film it.
Exactly.
They might actually, I think they could be infinitely more flexible, because you're right. They've got all these other products. They're right now working on Iron Fist. They are about to start working on, I believe, Daredevil Season 3. They're getting ready to start working on Jessica Jones Season 2, as well as Season 1 of Defenders. So, yes, there's all this juggling.
Isn't there some talk about Punisher?
And Punisher, and there's Luke Cage as well.
Yeah, so they're pretty
busy.
booked out.
They are very much booked out, and I don't think they want to have these shows actually overlap each other too much.
Right.
But there is a break between when they each get released. So easily, I think they could do it. You know, if they decide that they want to do it, I don't see any reason why Haley Atwell wouldn't agree. Just talk to her agent and find out what's a good time.
Yeah.
And of course, after Keith's comment, Claire, she did respond with, "Well, we can only hope," and I agree with you on that. And of course, Crazy Joe did come up with this last comment where he simply writes, "Since she's committed to a new series, maybe Netflix could at the very least commission a 2-hour movie to tie up loose ends and end with the founding of S.H.I.E.L.D. At the least, we have got to get the founding of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's absolutely right.
Yeah,
because that,
if nothing else,
the one shot of Agent Carter that was added to the Iron Man 3 home release, that is now considered no longer canon, and they've retconned everything that had to do with the SSR and the beginning of S.H.I.E.L.D. with this TV series. So, yeah, we need now something to show how S.H.I.E.L.D. actually got started. So,
Exactly.
I think they should definitely do that.
Yep.
And then finally, the last comment came from the lovely Canberra Potter, who we interviewed recently. And she simply writes, "Happy Monday, world. I'm honored and stoked to share this. It's my interview with TG Squared Studios on my role as Aaron Baxter in Beyond the Impact for Etched Motion Productions. Check it out." And, I would say definitely check out Beyond the Impact. But, check out the interview as well. That was a fun interview.
It was. She's
delightful.
Is just a sweetheart. She really is. So we want to hear from you, our listeners. We feel that you are very important, and we love the feedback. We love to share that feedback. It keeps us going and lets us know that there are people out there listening to us.
We need that.
Yeah.
Desperately.
And you can comment on, the episodes, the articles that we write, anything that you want to do. Anything you want to comment. If you like the show, if you don't like the show, if you don't like the website, you don't like what we do on Facebook, let us know that. Or if you do like it, let us know. But when you do that, please play nice so that we don't have to edit or delete your feedback. You can look at us up on Facebook as TG Squared Studios, where you can comment on the episodes and articles, or you can comment on our YouTube episodes as well.
Brian does that a lot.
Brian does that a lot.
As well as good friends Lookie.
Yes, Lookie. And you can look us up on tggeeks.com, and you could receive a shout-out on a future episode. You can also call our listener feedback line, and we'll play your comment on air. 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357.
Hi, I'm Patricia Chica, director-producer of Morning After.
And I'm Christian Hotko, writer and actor of Morning After. And you're listening to the Two Gay Geeks podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we have a few things we want to talk about. I want to preface all of this, though. The news reporting that usually comes from us via our website was pretty sparse this week, and I apologize for that. I have not been working from home. I was called back into the office, so that completely took up all my time. Life got in the way, so we weren't able.
I was busy, and
yeah, so it just reached a point where we couldn't really report on the hot things that were going on. So some of these stories might be considered a little old, and if that's the case, please bear with us. We don't do this show for a living. I wish we could.
Yeah, as my biology teacher, Mr. Oglesby, used to say, it's better never than late.
Yeah, that's
or
true.
Better late than never.
Oh,
sorry.
thank you. Yeah. Why am I agreeing on that first one? Better never than late. No. No. We can't have it as being as a never. So, and I want to start off with this story that did come down the pipe just some few days ago, and it's a hot one. Paramount is dropping the lawsuit against Axanar.
Yay.
I am thrilled. Now, the story will be on our show notes, so you can actually look at it there. But I will give you some background as to what happened here. Now, according to Slash Film, it was reported that there was some talking going on between Paramount Pictures and I hate the way this was reported by Slash Film. They said the new franchise producer, that feels like a knife in the heart. But under these circumstances, I'll forgive it. Franchise producer JJ, as well as the current director Justin Lin, they had some friendly words, and apparently after who knows how long they talked, Paramount agreed to let it go. And
it's about time.
Yeah, it's about time.
It's
Abrams.
about space.
Yeah, it's about new frontiers. Apparently, Abrams. There was a big Star Trek Beyond fan event last week, and somebody brought the question up about Axanar. I guess they wanted to know what he had to say, and this is what JJ said. A few months back, there was a fan film, Axanar, that was getting made, and there was this lawsuit that happened between the studio and these fans. And Justin, I'll tell the story because he probably wouldn't, was sort of outraged by this as a longtime fan. And that is true. Justin Lin actually stood in support of Axanar. That's
a good
big.
thing. Yeah.
That's big. Anyway, he said, we started talking about it and realized this was not an appropriate way to deal with the fans. The fans should be celebrating this thing. Fans of Star Trek are part of this world. So he went to the studio and pushed them to stop this lawsuit. And now, within the next few weeks, it will be announced this is going away and that fans will be able to continue working on this project.
Yay.
I am thrilled with this. Now, Alec Peters, who is the head of Axanar, he simply said, we are grateful to receive the public support of J.J. Abrams and Justin Lin. As the lawsuit remains pending, we want to make sure we go through all the proper steps to make sure all matters are settled with CBS and Paramount. Our goal from the beginning of this legal matter has been to address the concerns of the plaintiffs in a way that still allows us to tell the story of Axanar and meet the expectations of the over 10,000 fans who financially supported our project. So, this has now happened. Now, of course, the scuttlebutt is, why did Paramount really drop it?
Yeah, it could be that they realized that maybe that was not good for the fandom and for the studio and for Star Trek and for anything.
Well, it did draw a really big line in the ground, and it was very divisive. There were fans that were in support of Paramount and CBS, and there were fans that were very much in support of Axanar. And now I don't know what the demographic breakdown is. However, based purely on social media response, and that's the most unscientific response possible, it appears that the bulk of Star Trek fans were they were behind Axanar. They were totally supporting what Axanar was doing.
And people were saying, we're not going to go to Star Trek. We're not going to support Star Trek anymore, period, if Paramount does this, because it's just destroying the fandom. And You know, I mean, we're on the 50th anniversary of Star Trek. It's insane.
We should be celebrating instead of picking fights.
Exactly.
And that's what was going on here. Add to the fact that Paramount, some months back in November, released what has got to be the worst Star Trek trailer in history. That certainly didn't help their public opinion. So I kind of wonder if this isn't done partly due to the fact that fans were very unhappy with them and were threatening to not go see the film.
Yeah.
You know, if that's the case, well, I still think Paramount did the right thing by dropping it. And as a lot of fans have said, Paramount has now been forgiven.
Sort of.
If they carry through with this deal to not fight Axanar, if they allow, if they go through negotiations with Alec Peters, and if they agree, okay, you can do your Axanar project, if Paramount goes through with that, then I'll be more than happy to forgive them for the way they handle this, and I would even be willing to see the movie. The series, however, is a completely different matter.
We'll not talk about that right now.
We'll not talk about that. So, moving right along. I just read this today when we recorded this, and I was floored. Jeff Goldblum is now part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, my Lord.
That nutcase. He's an awesome actor. He really is. The man's insane. But in all the best ways. He will be appearing in the new Thor movie, Ragnarok, which was shocking. Some of the people who have been confirmed for this, well, let me go over who will be in this film. Cate Blanchett. I adore her. But lately she's really taking on these dark roles. She is going to be playing the film's primary villain, and I'm hoping I pronounce this correctly, Hela. H-E-L-A. Or Hela. I'm not sure which. It might be Hela. She's the Asgardian goddess of death. Well, if Thor is the god of thunder, and I kind of wonder what kind of role Hela really plays in the quote unquote real world of Asgard.
Yeah,
I'm kind of fascinated as to who she's going to be. Mark Ruffalo. We're gonna get the Hulk / Bruce Banner back. He will be in this because we haven't seen him since the end of Age of Ultron. He was completely persona non grata in Civil War. We only heard about him, but we did not see him. He will be in this. This one tickled me to no end. Karl Urban.
Wow.
He is going to be playing a villainous Asgardian named Scourge. He has an enchanted axe who is a longtime rival of Thor. Axe versus hammer. It's going to happen. You know it. And, of course, this will also mean, we're going to be seeing the return of Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Tom Hiddleston as Loki, and Sir Anthony Hopkins as Allfather Odin. Now, Jeff Goldblum, his part in this, he's going to be playing, and this is how he's described in IO9, he will be playing a powerful cosmic character. I like that. When I hear about powerful cosmic characters, I mean, that's something of a scale that just is mind-boggling. And apparently he gets his kicks by forcing people to fight against each other. And the first thought that ran through my head was, oh, they got Q.
Yeah, there you go.
Although I don't think Q was really big into having people fight each other. He just liked to be...
metal.
Yeah, he loved the metal. So, yeah, Jeff Goldblum in this. And the fact that he's playing a very powerful cosmic character makes me kind of wonder, is this guy maybe on Thanos' short list to help him out regarding the Infinity Stones?
Yeah.
I mean, you never know. He might actually put another appearance in the Infinity Wars Part 1 and 2. You never know. I'm kind of excited about that. And Thor Ragnarok will be hitting the theaters not this July, but July 28th of next year, 2017. Now, this story, I'm not going to really go too much on the heart of this because there's actually a second story that's part of this. Harley Quinn, who everybody is really excited about in the upcoming Suicide Squad film. In fact, I think she's the only thing that people are excited about. She's the only thing that I'm excited about because I don't like the rest of the cast, but boy, do I think she's awesome. She's getting her own flick. She'll be getting her own solo film. But not entirely solo. Wow, the cast of characters that are going to be in on this. It will include Batgirl, Huntress, and Black Canary. No,
Wow.
not Laurel Lance. This will be Dinah Black or Dinah Lance. Remember, different universes. Wah. In any case, she will not only be getting her own movie, she's going to be producing it as well. But there's a second story to this, and this is what I think really needs to be considered here. Warner Brothers has finally appointed someone to oversee the entire DC cinematic universe.
It's about time.
And one of those people is Jeff Johns. He is the creative content officer, I believe, of DC Comics. And apparently, they aren't very happy with the fact that Batman vs. Superman just did not perform the way they expected it to. There are people who liked it, and I'm going to say this again. And Joe, this is meant for you. I'm happy that you liked it. I seriously, seriously am. I'm glad that somebody liked it. I'm glad that enough people liked it so that Warner Brothers would say, okay, maybe there's still something there. Maybe we can make another movie. Maybe we just need to shift directions a bit. Fine.
Yeah.
That's okay. But I think they realized that the dark, both in terms of visual and story tone, that the dark and gritty, I don't think that's really hip anymore.
Yeah, I don't think that it's necessary.
No, I mean, have we seen dark and gritty in any of the Marvel films? And I'm not trying to do a Marvel versus DC thing. Yeah, I'm just simply trying to make a comparison here.
No, I don't think maybe moments, but not the whole film.
Not whole films. Even when there's been some serious moments, it's never been dark and gritty.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Civil War, which has got a very intense message, but boy, it was bright, very colorful, and there were lots of moments of humor.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, there wasn't much of that. I mean, there was some in DOJ. But I think DC's making, or Warner Brothers is making the right move. And I'm just kind of wondering, is this move to have Harley Quinn have her own movie actually, and the actress, in case if anybody doesn't know, is Margot Robbie. I kind of wonder, is this part of the whole new direction that that Warner Brothers is looking at going down? I hope it is.
Yeah.
I seriously hope it is, and I really seriously hope they're successful, because I agree with what Arkell has said in the past. This is not about Marvel versus DC. This is about just give me a good superhero film.
Yeah.
End of
exactly.
discussion.
Yep.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
And that's all that I have. And the mic has dropped.
Yeah. And since you kind of stepped on the first item in this second segment, I'll use it as a follow-up item.
Sorry, my bad.
Because I wanted to follow up with this.
You're right. I got a little eager
say
beaver.
Something. Yeah, you got excited.
I was an eager beaver. My
That's all right.
bad.
That's
I
okay.
apologize.
We did want to say that the premiere of Occupants, the film, the Russ Emanuel film that we've been talking about, that we interviewed Russ, and we're going to actually interview Russ and the writer and the editor of the comic book or tie-in next week. But Occupants, the movie, is premiering at Phoenix Comic-Con Thursday, June 2nd in the 7 to 9 slot in 102 West.
Go
is
see it.
A great film. It is.
Well, okay,
It's just creepy.
All right, I'm going to give the game away. There is a review that is written. It will be published the day of this world premiere, but I will simply say this: I liked it.
Yes, we did. Very much. Okay, the follow-up items. We've got a calendar, so if you know of a con or a birthday or a film festival or anything that we need to have on the calendar, send us a note. And number 2, we are huge supporters of independent creators. Occupants is an independent film, and we have just not only independent film, but independent creators. We love to support those people that create independently, as well as, the other stuff. But we want you to check out a link to the Indiegogo campaign for Morning After, the new film by Patricia Chica and Christian Hodko. We did an interview with them here recently about the new film. You can check out the sidebar for the article or the sidebar on our website, and think about supporting that independent film, and consider supporting independent creators. Phoenix Comic-Con. Oh my gosh, we're 2 weeks away.
2 weeks.
Yep, 2 weeks. I can't wait.
Wow.
We are going to be there in force, and we will be at the Hyatt. We'll have our studio set up in our room so we can do interviews if necessary.
Oh, I think we're going to have some
take a nap if we need to.
Yeah, but I think we're going to have some. I'm really banking on some very entertaining conversation.
Yes. There are still hotel rooms available downtown, and memberships are still available for sale. Also, they've announced FanFest 16. That's going to be October 22nd and 23rd at the Convention Center in downtown Phoenix. More information after Comic-Con is done. And for the Halloween fans, Keen Halloween returns to Phoenix September 23rd and 24th at the Convention Center. More information at keenhalloween.com.
Got to give a special thanks to the Doctor Who Fancast Guide. They continue to republish our stories, and for that, we are enormously grateful. How can you read the Fancast Guide, you ask? Simple. You go to Twitter and look for Doctor Who Talking Who, their handle at Talking Who. Oh, but wait, they're not the only ones who actually republish our stories. Our stories also appear on the Arkle Times Post Dispatch News. And to read that, all you have to do is go find Social Justice Scald. That is Brian Weber, and his Twitter handle is at Arkle. He also has the Incorrect Star Trek Voyager quotes on Tumblr. Very entertaining read there, but don't do it while you're at work.
Yep. And Talking Who and Arkle do use the paper.ly or whatever you say that. We also have one of those, so take a look at that. It automatically picks articles for us, so I have no choice in that unless I want to pay for it. I don't particularly want to pay for that right now.
Nobody does.
Not another thing to pay for with zero income.
Yeah.
But, check out ours and let us know if it's something that you find interesting as well. We want to give a shout out, as always, to The Lookie Show. The twins, Sasha and Dagmar, are just incredible.
They
give us lots of love on Twitter.
They're awesome.
Want you to give them love too.
Absolutely, because they deserve it. They're phenomenal. I just love them.
On Twitter, they are at Lookie Show, and catch them on YouTube as Lookie Show. If you like old movies and kind of very good but campy reviews, short interviews, they're great.
Yeah,
Check it out.
They're not just doing really bad movies like you might see on an Elvira or something. I mean, they do some really good stuff too,
really
and
classic
it's very entertaining. I remember the review they did for Babette's Feast, and I thought it was beautiful.
Yep.
They have to give a special shout out to The Gay Geek. This is a Facebook group because they allow us to post our episodes on their page. They are an awesome group, and it's not just because they allow our episodes to go there, but because there's just some really great content there.
And great people.
It is great people. It is a friendly group. So go there, check it out, interact with some of the really, really awesome people there, including their moderator, Jeremiah Reeves. He's the one who gave us his blessing for us to post our episodes there. And the URL is facebook.com/groups/thegaygeek.
And thank you, Jeremiah. We also want to give a big thank you to whoever it was that nominated us for the Parsec Award. We still don't know. And those Parsec Awards are awarded annually for speculative fiction podcasts, and they do that at DragonCon. For more information, check out theparsecawards.com. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And lastly, not lastly,
but almost lastly.
We want to say thank you to those people that have been clicking on the Amazon ads. Please continue to do that. And please, if you haven't done that, please consider clicking on one every so often. It shows Amazon that we're getting traffic, and you don't have to buy anything. But if you do, click on one of the links and use the search, and it helps us. Thank you for doing that. Also, we want to say please rate us on iTunes.
That allows iTunes to know that people are listening to us. It might boost our ratings.
You
When
never
people are doing
know.
podcast searches, if we have enough positive reviews, our name might bubble a little bit closer to the top.
You never know. So up next week, we're going to talk to Russ Emanuel, the director of Occupants, the writer, and the editor for the comic book tie-in. All three of them, we're going to have them on the show. And hopefully, after the premiere, we will get to sit down with several other people attached to the film.
That will be fun.
We'll just stay tuned for more information. Okie dokie, that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the website or the article for this webcast episode. We'll have several links on that page. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com, or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. From TG Squared Studios, I'm Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. I bid you peace.
Cheers.